Welcome to Diligent Canine, and in this video I'm going to talk about some ways to improve your relationship with your dog simply by being mindful while doing some of the things you already do with your dog. First, let's talk about what mindfulness is and what mindfulness is not. So mindfulness is not an expectation to calm down, to relax, to meditate, to breathe deeply. Mindfulness is none of those things. Mindfulness is simply bringing attention and awareness to the present moment. So observing all the things that are going on around you, being aware of your surroundings, being aware of how you're feeling, what you're thinking about, but not being attached to those things, and simply absorbing everything moment to moment and being aware of those changes. I will attach a graphic to this video. I'll post a link in the descriptions that I really love that helps explain the difference between a full mind, which is full of clutter and all these different things we're thinking about, which is how we spend most of our lives, or a mindful mind, which is clear and focused on just what's happening in front of us. So check that out in the description. Let's get into then how we can apply mindfulness to improve our quality of life with our dogs. There are lots of things on the internet about how a mindfulness practice in your daily routine can help your quality of life as a human. Obviously, your emotional state and your emotions are going to go right down the leash, as we say in the dog world, to your dogs. Dogs are extremely perceptive of your body language. Obviously, your emotions have a micro effects on your body posture, your facial expression, and dogs are way more aware of that than we are about ourselves. So that's important to remember when you're training with your dog, but it's also really helpful to build your relationship with your dog if you make it an intentional practice. So the way we go about that is trying to bring a mindful approach to the things we already do with our dog. And the two examples that I try to focus on for myself and my dog are walking and hanging out when we're just chilling. So let's get into those. I don't think I'll make a separate video. I'll try to cover them both here, so I might move kind of quickly through this. But so when I'm just hanging out with my dog, yes, there are times where I might be watching a movie and he is laying at one end of the couch and I'm sitting on the other, or he's laying at my feet, something like that. And that's great. We all like that. We want dogs to be our companions, regardless of whatever activity you do with them. They're our companions as well. So that is well and good, but it's not a mindful practice. When I'm watching a movie with my dog, my attention is on the movie. It's not on my dog. So by definition, then I'm not being mindful of what's happening between my dog and I. My mind is cluttered, if you will, with the movie. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's just not a mindful practice. The other example that's a good example of this is recording this video. There's a reason that I'm just kind of ranting about it here rather than filming myself sitting down and petting my dog. Because if I'm focused on recording this video, or what I'm going to say, or how it's going to look in post-production, I'm not focused on the dog that I'm supposed to be bonding with. So when we bring a mindful approach to hanging out with our dogs, we're focused on that moment. How does the sun feel on our face? Is there any breeze? How does the dog's fur feel on our hands? What can I notice about my dog's body language or their face? Just being really tuned in to what's happening in the present. So in my grooming video, that's why I put that as a relationship, under the relationship category, because grooming is another good example where you're really tuned in and focused to that specific moment, being really detail oriented and sort of like releasing the clutter of your mind to only focus on the task or the situation that's right in front of you at present. So when we're hanging out with our dogs, this might be 5, 10, 15 minutes, however much you decide your relationship with your dog is worth to you. That's the amount of time that you want to spend. This is absolutely critical to just hang out with your dogs and have just hanging out with them be the most important thing in your world for that duration. So again, whether that's 5, 10, 20 minutes a day, or every other day, we all have busy schedules, but this is important. It's important to build that bond with your dog. So just like it's important to unplug from your phone, turn your phone off, turn all your screens off, and go somewhere quiet and just hang out with your animal, pet them, play with them, just sit down and relax and pay attention to what is happening right now, where the most important thing in your world is what's right in front of you. So the other example I use for this is walking. When I go for walks with my dog, yes, there are times where walking simply serves as exercise or an opportunity for the dog to relieve their bowels, and that's fine. But there are also times where I walk as part of a mindfulness practice. I mentioned in, I don't know if it'll be released yet, but the Q&A video where I talk about myself kind of getting angry or frustrated while training, different periods in training my dog. And my response to that, if I can't back the training to a lower degree of stimulation or break it down into simple enough components, when my dog is just having an off day or I'm having an off day, I go for a walk. But it's not a routine walk where I just want the dog to relieve themselves and then we maybe go around the block a couple more minutes and then back inside. The purpose of a walk when I'm frustrated is to be mindful, is to clear the clutter out of my mind, to clear the clutter and stress out of my dog's mind. So again, I'm not recording that while it's happening, because that's just ridiculous and counterintuitive to say, look at this mindful walk that I'm recording with my dog. That is the definition of not mindful. So again, with the walking, I leave my phone in the house. It's not even on my person, and usually I wear a wristwatch. Most days I do, but I take that off too, so the time isn't important. I'm going to go for a walk with my dog simply to enjoy being with my dog and improving our relationship in that way. So I'm not concerned with Instagram notifications or text messages. I'm not concerned with the time, how late in the day is, where I have to be, how long I'm gone, how many steps I'm taking. All of that stuff is clutter that fills up your mind. So if you want to improve your relationship with your dog, part of your training routine needs to be bonding, building that relationship, bonding in a mindful and attentive manner. So that's it for this video. Stay tuned and remember to support military and working dogs by subscribing on patreon.com/diligentcanine.